Hello, hello, hello. I just want to remind you that we have Caramoo each and every Friday night right here in Montgomery, Alabama. If you want to find out where, if you want to find out what time, all you need to do is call this number, and that is 334-399-7737. That's 334-399-77. John Henry Drums, home of the Majestic Mind Matters University. This next audio is by Dr. Jewel Pookrum. You can find her on YouTube, and this portion is called On Covert Research Done on the Original People.
Now, please understand that research on all races, but definitely because I'm talking about my race family at the moment, is a real reality. And everything that could be thought of to research has been done on us. It says here, Caucasian genes in American Negroes. They have done research and have been observing the effect of miscegenation. How does an African who is miscegenated behave versus one who basically is 100% pure genetic African from Africa? They know the difference. And it's very interesting here because it said it was very difficult to describe the genetic history of a large defined human population in a meaningful way. But they go on and talk about how they did this. They identified the gene here that they were using, the McDuffie allele, which occurs in Caucasians. It never appears in Africans unless that African bloodline has been miscegenated. So they took all of the blood that they could get their hands on, and I think about the sickle cell centers that were being used for far more than just determining sickle cell, to determine how many of us, as we went to these centers, had the McDuffie allele in our bloodstream. Because they went to Africa, and from the data, and this article was so interesting, because from the data that was saved in Savannah, Georgia, Virginia, and one other location where all the slaves were being brought in, they kept the records from where they were coming from in Africa, and they went back to Ghana, Senegal, Nigeria, and drew their bloods to make sure they had the standard of their DNA so that when they compared ours, they would see the difference and the degree of miscegenation. So all of this is being done. I don't know if Wanique remembers that, but, you know, again, I was asked to go to Grady Hospital to speak to the hepatitis C support group. And to really show you how God works here, we got to talking, and they were very excited about what I told them, because normally they go there to just kind of console each other until they die. And we talked about the fact that hepatitis C can be treated like hepatitis A and B, but you need to do something different. So it got lengthy. So anyway, by the time we finished, I wanted to go to the bathroom, and everything in the reception building, or the Secretary Administrative building, that's what it was, had closed. So therefore the laboratories were closed, etc., the area, the library. And so one of the individuals there who knew the building said, well, you can go downstairs to the bathroom. So I'm like, okay, fine. So they gave us the directions, so Wanique was assisting me. So we're going down the stairs, and it turns totally into a different world. We leave a floor that is totally lined with marble walls, Byzantine ceilings, etc., and we are now on a stairwell that has mops, buckets, pails all down the side of it, etc. I couldn't believe it was in the same building. So I said, we are definitely in the wrong place. I don't even know who comes in this part of the building because it hasn't even been kept. And so Wanique said, no, you know, I know it's down here somewhere. So I said, okay, well, I'm going to follow him. So as we finally got down to the next landing, because it was very strange, because it was even like a double stairwell. So it's going very, very deep down into the basement of this building. in looking for the bathroom, which we found was definitely not a bathroom that was used often, we also stumbled into a high security research laboratory. And over the double doors with the card padlocks, etc., hung the African American prostate DNA Research Center. The African American Testosterone and Prostate DNA Research Project. Now, see, you have to understand how profound that was, because this was the administrative building where the library is and the dean's office and whatever else. And we were not even supposed to even be down here because they got mops and buckets on the floors, etc. It was a double stairwell because we kept going down and down. There was no floor until we got way down underneath this building. And this had double keypads and had to have cards and know the combination and everything to get in here. And I said, well, no wonder. I said, any man that rolls up in Grady, if you talk about any problem below your navel, your prostate is going to be in this lab. Because they're getting paid for it. They had all the graphs on the walls because our nose was flat. We were looking so hard through the little windows. They had all the graphs on the walls. They had all the studies numbered. It was a huge research lab. So they were using the prostate to elucidate the DNA or the gene that produces the level of testosterone in African men. Now, whether you know it or not, the African male out of all males on the planet has the highest level of testosterone. That's why you have the muscle mass, the bone structure, and everything. And if you travel around the world, you can look at your physiology, your physique, and see that it's much denser, far more muscle mass, far firmer, less aging, etc., than any other race of people. You know, so the key here is that they are recognizing this, and many of these studies where they talk about being able to have instant muscles from vaccine, this is how they're getting all this information. So I was just really surprised about the fact that this was a covert prostate study being done on African American men on the elucidating level of their testosterone and using it through their prostate. So at that time it was interesting because the papers were correlating the high incidence of prostate cancer in Atlanta. And so I even questioned if that was even true, okay, because they had to get so many specimens, etc., to do this research. Okay?
Hello, hello, hello. I just want to remind you that we have Caramoo each and every Friday night right here in Montgomery, Alabama. If you want to find out where, if you want to find out what time, all you need to do is call this number, and that is 334-399-7737. That's 334-399-77. John Henry Drums, home of the Majestic Mind Matters University.